And you know, on top of it all, like in a television situation, you've got to understand that the top guy is also the one like with the most to lose. And anybody else, I mean, we're just going to go on another show. For him, it could be the thing where people say, you know, when you do things, it just doesn't work out well. Or, you know, they're also, they've got the most invested. They're the ones who have been working on it from the beginning, before the beginning, maybe 30 years before the beginning. They may have started thinking about this film when they were in high school, and now they're 50, and they're bringing it along, and it's truly theirs. And also just, I mean, everything in terms of money and power, they have the most to lose. And for everybody else, it's replaceable, you know? Back in that time, I was doing BATBs, I got other offers for other shows. And so I'm going, no, you know, I'm doing one. And so I'm busy. But Ron Koslow is not out taking meetings to see if he's going to, you know, during his spring break, if he's going to real quickly produce another television series. Now, I'm going to go on my spring break and do a TV movie or whatever, but he doesn't have time to even write another one. This is his entire world. This is a story from another executive producer from Fame. I came into the set once to shoot the other side of, you know, shot half of a scene. And this day was, on Fame we would do the audience scenes where there was performance because, you know, the stage. And so everything had to turn around. The house wasn't there in our auditorium. First there was the stage, and the house had to come in second. And so you had to have a full house of people, and so you did them in 2 days. And I came in one morning to finish this Don Quixote number, and there's our executive producer, Donald, and he's pacing on the auditorium stage, which is empty. And I said, Don, when are they bringing in the set? And he said, David, I want you to tell me something. How often do you wake up in the middle of the night thinking about this show and you're unable to go back to sleep again? I said, you know, Don, like, never. And he's like, I haven't had a decent night's sleep since I started doing this because I wake up thinking about you, thinking about your character, thinking about this and that, the coffee. And he says it's the same. His wife was his partner, and he said it's the same for her. And I was like, yeah, but you guys make good big bucks. And he says, you know, I'm pacing back and forth here thinking, I'd rather have your job. You know, and he was my boss. He knew exactly how much I made. And he's like, I think it would be better to sleep through the night. And I was like, Donald, what's going on here? He's like, David, the set's not coming back. They tore the set down last night. He's like, carpenters came in, carpenters that we can't blame, who misread something that somebody didn't write clearly. And last night while you were sleeping and I was waking up wondering what was wrong, they tore down the set. And they chopped it into little bits and took it to the dump. Even though usually at MGM they tear down a set and they store it. In this case, for some reason, they chopped it into little tiny bits and took it to the dump. And so today is canceled. We can't shoot this today. And he's like, I've just been pacing back and forth here, and when you came in, I came to, I think it's going to be $137,000 to correct this mistake. And he says, this is my life. $137,000 that I have to go explain to people in the Dahlberg building. And I kind of have to take the blame because I can't say, oh, this guy who's in charge of the set crew messed up, which he did, but you can't take somebody whose job it is to tear down the sets and to build the sets and say he made a $150,000 mistake because he'll never work in the business again. And so I'm going to go up there and say, oh, we had this schedule and we have 2 sound stages and I was so tired that I sent them to the wrong, I didn't realize. And they said to me, you mean Quixote? And I was like, that's the episode. So I'm working out in my head how to take the blame for a 6-figure problem. And so that's the executive producer's job in a nutshell, and that's what, that's why I've never even tried to be one, because it sounds like hell on earth, really.
So after hearing a story like that, I think we should all pause for just a moment of gratitude that we have Beauty and the Beast at all. Oh my, yes. I will, I promise you, bring it in tomorrow to the art show. And a few others that never would have made it in.
Question over there. Good thinking.
In the Elf Quest, I had heard that they were going to make a motion picture.
Oh, you've heard that every year of your life for the last 30 years. Yeah. We've been living off the option money of
God bless it.
Here's
I never sold the script. I never sold a piece of writing, but I made money from their optioning, and then
Okay, here's the short answer. It's the problem has always been Richard and me. What we could live with and what we couldn't live with. Rankin Bass, after they did The Last Unicorn, was interested in us, and we thought yes, and so all the elves are going to end up with noses that look like watermelons, and because that was their character designer. And we turned Rankin Bass down, and we turned down Nelvana, who had it for a while, because Nelvana decided instead of doing it animated, they were going to do it live action by dressing children up in muscular suits and putting them on live wolves.
people are just insane. There's nothing you can say about that.
It gets better. CBS had it for a while to turn it into a Saturday morning cartoon show to replace Dungeons and Dragons after that series ran out. Except that we were not allowed to have Cutter and Lita be, shall we say, different shades. Lita either had to be lighter or he had to be darker, and the two children, their personalities had to be switched because there was no way they were going to accept a tough little girl and a sensitive little boy. The personalities had to be switched.